All right, folks. It's me, your perfectly normal hero. Uh, Back here with some new science here in the Science Debate Booze Loft. After our rather disappointing experience with the stolen whiskey, 11-year-old, we're two-fisting it tonight with finishing off some Stag's Leap Chardonnay. Trying to get the white wine in as the last of the warm weather disappears on us here in the southeastern United States. And we'll be moving to Basil Hayden's Dark Rye. This is solid. And let me tell you, there's a lot of good science in this bottle. A lot of good science. Which may be what the folks who we're going to be talking about today may have been drinking. Because it's interesting. It's very interesting. And I promise that this won't be the long 15-minute marathon that the last one was. But let's talk about something that came out in Science Magazine. Well, today, it's a Friday, and it is the 2nd of October, 2020. So this is officially in print in volume 370 of Science Magazine. It is a latent lineage potential and resonant neural stem cells enables spinal cord repair. The fuck does that mean? Well, basically, it addresses a very, very common problem that people just really haven't understood. And this is probably a good start to understanding that. And that is, if you damage a part of your body, a bone, you cut yourself, there's a good chance, unless it was amazingly catastrophic, that it will repair itself in some way that allows it to be functional. Okay, so let's just take a look at that. What does that mean? It's going to be functional. You cut your skin, you may have a scar, the skin's going to heal itself. You break a bone, but if you set it right, the bone's going to heal itself and will function. You cut a nerve, and it's over. You cut your spinal cord, you're going to lose something. Why does our neural system, our nerve system, fuck us over like that? Plain and simple. Okay, why is it, so different? The mechanisms by which that occurs and how it starts in terms of tissue regeneration, which is believed that you have these sort of tissue-specific stem cells, and as healing progresses, those stem cells then basically go in and create new tissue, which heals things. If you're a spinal cord, you have those stem cells, but those stem cells form astrocytes, and that's not a spinal cord. It's something completely different. It does a really good job of holding the spinal cord together. It doesn't do a damn bit of good of keeping, that highway of nerve impulses going like it should to retain function. Astrocytes. It's a wonderful, wonderful thing that science is incredibly uncreative when it comes to names. Cells that tend to form star-shaped structures. In a sense, it's going to be scar tissue or tumors or some shit like that. But anyways, what these folks did is here, and you can get a closer look at those guys, because I'm not even going to try to pronounce that first author's name correctly, is they really try to dig in and understand why those stem cells in the spinal cord, at least in mice, in most mammals, if not most animals with a spinal cord, most notochords, form astrocytes as opposed to new material. And how do you get it to go into new material that is functional? So basically, let's not go into scar tissue, let's go into functional tissue and make it that and heal that way. And it's pretty fucking complicated. What is interesting is they are big proponents of my theory that the amount of work you do is proportional to the number of grafts in pictures you generate. Okay? So, it's obvious these guys did a fuck ton of work. But you know, what happens here is if you actually look at these things, I just want to make sure I get the words right here, that, you know, there's a different pathway of stem cell differentiation as the stem cells commit to what tissue they're going to be growing to. And, you know, the astrocyte scarring just, for some reason, I mean, evolutionarily speaking, we've gone that way. And we just don't know why, but ependymal oligodendrocytes generation occur at the same time as astrocyte formation, which is sort of their big discovery. And the question now becomes, if we can understand why, we can promote endymal astrocyte formation at a faster rate than astrocyte formation, or we can now focus on an astrocyte regulation in these kinds of things. Now, that's great. If you happen to have an injury and we do this, and it turns out that there's a ton of homology and therefore applicability between mice and humans, wonderful, great. That's not really, I mean, that's enough to get you excited, but it's interesting because it's, what does it really mean? I mean, how do we, hold on. I mean, so what can we do? So this is probably a great thing to capture post-injury, immediately post-injury, because you have that opportunity to outpace the astrocytes. But if you already have the injury to your spinal cord and your nervous system, it's going to be a lot more difficult because the astrocytes are already formed. There's nothing to outpace. The race is already over. So you got to find something else to do. But there are plenty of times when you may want to cause injury for good. That sounds weird, but it's not uncommon if you look at things like plastic surgery. The thing about plastic surgery isn't what they cut, it's how it heals that gives you the look you're looking for. So you're causing damage for good. And when you look at this, and now this is a big damn deal, causing damage for good, what can we do with it? Well, I'm looking forward to that guy. For those who may not know, that is Otto Octavius, Dr. Otto Octavius, also known as Doc Ock, who has a wonderful set of robotics implanted into his spinal cord to give him mechanically altered powers. And, you know, that's great, that's fine, but, you know, when you actually look at the mechanisms, it's like, well, okay, it's one thing to make the machines, we can make the machines, it's now how do you control the machines, and how do you do so in the best possible way? Well, you know, if you want to go in and control something with nerves directly, and you do that right now using our technology, all you're going to be doing is fucking things up and making scar tissue, and you might get a connection. But if you know, these guys here are right, and we do have something, then it's not just fixing the mistakes we have, it's making, it's providing a means to give us something more than what we have and what we could be. And, you know, Doc Ock is a great example. There's probably a more prescient one. That is, if you've ever seen the mediocre movie Elysium, I'm not really a big fan of this, so I'm just going to cover this part up as best I can. But Matt Damon's character is dying, and that's a central part of the thing, and and because he has nothing left to lose, he's going to go save humanity. Okay, typical sci-fi stuff. But the idea of being able to take an exoskeleton, directly interface it into your nervous system in a way that works, that doesn't cause damage. What these guys are done, it's not everything, but it has the potential to be a decent step in that direction, which is kind of awesome.